Hey guys, we're in some rides here on a slightly chilly day in North London, in the Hampstead area today, so out for a walk, keeping the legs moving, keeping the blood pumping. So going to see what kind of cars we stumble across and tell you more about them. Should be quite a few around here, quite a lot of interesting cars around here actually, so quite an affluent area of London. So yeah, let's see what we find. So one of the kind of more heavily luxury focused cars on the channel. This is a Bentley Continental GT. Yeah, so real kind of the first car that Bentley produced under Volkswagen ownership. Volkswagen bought the company in around 1998 when they were just building the Arnage and the occasional kind of Brooklands model. They then took over and made this, which was turned out to be a huge success. So a great big GT coupe. First one saw the light of day as a concept in 2002. Unveiled the car properly in 2003, and then production started late in 2003 with the first generation car. So a great big two-door coupe, had a W12 engine when it came out, so kind of two VR6 Volkswagen engines sharing the same crankshaft, and that had about 550 horsepower. So but again, a big car, weighed about 2.3 tons when it came out. So all-wheel drive, all automatic, and yeah, really luxury express. But this car is quite an interesting specific model. Firstly, it's the next generation of Continental that came in 2012, and which had kind of new design, lights and bumpers, those kind of things. And it was a new car, but still very true to this huge success, the original car that was the biggest selling Bentley ever to that point. And this actually debuted in 2012 with a W12, but then later that year it came out with the V8 engine, about 500 horsepower, so 507 PS. And that was a broader Volkswagen Group engine, also used by people like Audi, etc. And that was mated to an 8-speed auto gearbox, ZF's famous 8-speed auto gearbox only people use, and was a massive smash hit straight away. And you know, great attributes: lighter engine over the front wheels, not by a huge amount, but there was a weight saving. So that meant, although the engine, like lots of Volkswagen Group stuff, was way over the front wheels, actually, because it was light, it really helped reduce things like understeer and help stability. This car also inherited the 60-40 torque split, which the previous generation Supersports had a standard. All this generation of GT took that torque split, so more power going to the rear, made it more balanced, made it basically more fun to drive. That was the objective, without damaging any of the refinement attributes, because the car was super comfortable to drive. But then the problem with that V8 model, it was cheaper than the W12 at the time, and because it was so good, you know, just as really quick, realistically, had about the same top speed virtually. It was kind of cannibalizing sales. It was taking sales away from the W12, which Bentley were making more money out of. So this car was introduced late in 2013, unveiled at Frankfurt Motor Show as the V8S, and what that did was add some kind of bit more attitude to the standard V8. So with a few modifications, so the power went from 507 PS to 528 PS, so knocked a couple of tenths off the 0-60 time, but and a bit more on the VMAX top speed. But more importantly were things like the suspension design changes. So the suspension, they got stiffer anti-roll bars, uprights. It was lowered by 8mm, or was it 10mm? I don't remember. So basically handled more keenly, and lowering it made the centre of gravity lower as well, which basically meant that it just felt more fun to drive, more engaging, a bit more youthful, which wasn't really be a name associated with Bentley at the time, a word even. So it was, yeah, made the car a bit more contemporary and quickly became their biggest selling model. So that came out in 2013. Main volume of those cars came out in 2014, but this is actually a facelift model. So Bentley facelifted the car for the 2016 model year. So they came out in 2015, and it had things like different bumpers, different interior trim, and actually these front wings, injection hydroformed wings, aluminium, were changed just that facelift car. So quite a big facelift. Although at first glance didn't look it, actually there's quite a lot of changes in the car it was based on. This car is really, really nice, deep sapphire blue, and it's got a kind of nice kind of linen interior. And I think the veneer on this one is called Tamo Ash, so kind of quite a modern wood interior, straight grain wood. And this person's clearly very security conscious around here, understandable. This also has the Mulliner driving specification, so it had kind of diamonds on the seats, kind of square diamonds, and also these 9-spoke 21-inch wheels. Again, diamond turns. You can see a kind of bit of corrosion here where they've got a bit curved. That generally happens. You can get them refurbished quite easily. The V8S also had red brake calipers as standard, but this one's got the black ones, which you could get as an option. A bit less overt. This is quite a subtle spec of V8S, and that was the great thing about this model, is that you can make it quite extreme in terms of its spec. You know, maybe paint it white, black pack on these big wheels, but then you could also have it quite subtle. So smaller wheels, standard 20-inch wheels, quite an elegant design, although most of them went out with these 21s, this kind of type. But yeah, it had a real kind of diverse group of people buying them as well, so quite extreme. So there was so Katie Price bought one, a white convertible, around 2014. At the same time, Stephen Fry bought one as well, in a far more subtle spec, black with small wheels. So it really did appeal to quite a broad church of people, and was really, really well regarded. The car, the V8S, was really well reviewed. The Auto Express, I think, gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So it's a really engaging, fun to drive car. You could also get the sports exhaust on that car. I think this car probably has it. You can tell normally by the outer exhaust tailpipe sooty. That typically indicates one of these with the sports exhaust system. Yeah, really weapons grade brakes as well, so stopped really, really well. And also badging, the V8S badging, so you could see that it was actually a special car, wasn't just the base model. And also these wing vents from things like the Mulsanne and other cars at the time were incorporated into the Continental, all the Continentals at the facelift point. So yeah, this was really kind of the more period at Bentley, really went a bit more sporty, a bit more dynamic, a bit more youthful. They had the speed model at the time, and later came the super sports, but this car really was the critically acclaimed V8S model. It's the one the people really wanted, and they hold their value really well today, actually. So an early V8S, so kind of 2014, maybe it's like 40,000 miles on the clock. It's still probably about a 50k car. If you can compare that to like a Mercedes S-Class coupe, the same kind of age, it's probably gonna be less than that. And they are known for being really, really durable, really reliable, and you know, relatively straightforward service. They've gone through the whole rigmarole of the whole Volkswagen Group testing development program. Bentley's got some amazing engineers up in Crewe, and all built in the UK as well, although the engine and the gearbox came in from Europe, mainland Europe. But yeah, lovely thing. And again, it's a real modern day classic that really is very engaging to drive, and you could just, you know, jump in this and just speed down to south of France in a day. The range is quite good in the fuel tank, because the fuel economy is quite good. Get about 25, 26 to the gallon on a run on this car, which was significantly better than the still brilliant W12 at the time. But yeah, and they had a huge palette of colours available to choose from. As I said earlier, you can just really choose this. It's very spec sensitive. You can make the car look really extreme, or actually very subtle. And this car's the interior and the body colour are very subtle, but clearly the owner needed some big rims in his life, so went for these 9 spokes with the black and diamond turning effect. But lovely car, fantastic drive. I will own one day. It's on my list, probably a convertible. Yeah, the convertible's worth mentioning, actually. That had a lot of bracing, a lot of support to mean it was really still great fun to drive. So although it had loads of strengthening under the car, probably about 130 plus kilos of extra strengthening, there goes a Boxster, it was still fantastic to drive, and it had its own development program of suspension as well. So yeah, really, really easy to recommend this car. It's a bit big for some, but it's and you can tell it's a V8. Another tick that it's a V8, so it's got the red brand badges this side as well, where the W12s are the black badges. But yeah, it's really cracking, used by the next generation onwards from this, went to the Porsche Panamera platform. Far more tech, far more complexity, far more technology. This car soldiered on for many years with a really kind of fairly prehistoric navigation system and infotainment system, but didn't stop customers buying it in their droves. As the car got older, it just sold more and more. So it was a really big success story for them, and the Bentley brand's moved on a lot. So yeah, fantastic GT car, one of the very best.